Uh, Hello everyone. Welcome to this session of Global Compact for Migration lecture series. And we have with us Dr. Kunal Kesri from Govind Ballabh Pant Social Science Institute, one of the most prestigious social science research institute of India. Uh, for information, for everyone, I think. Dr. Kunal, we have with us also a participant of online certificate program, Global Compact for Migration. And the lecture is not just for the participant. We have also people from outside, the session is also open for public. But just for your information, I'd like to inform we have currently one certificate program going on, online certificate program on Global Compact for Migration. The program is currently being offered by 5 organizations: Global Research Forum on Diaspora and Transnationalism, Migrant Forum in Asia, Manila, Cross Regional Center for Refugees and Migrants, Lebanon, Metropolis, Asia Pacific, International Institute for Migration and Development, uh, with this brief information about the course, I'll briefly inform participants about our. Give me a second. Our prestigious invited guest, Dr. Kunal Kesri, is currently working as an faculty with Govind Ballabh Pant Institute, Govind Ballabh Pant Social Science Institute. Dr. Kunal Kesri attained his master's degree in geography from Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. He obtained his MPhil and PhD in population studies from International Institute for Population Sciences, one of the very important institutions of India. His research areas include migration and development, urbanization, environment, population geography, medical geography, public health, maternal and child health, and population aging. He has published a book entitled Rural-Urban Migration and Child Survival in India, a NFHS 3-based study, and many research papers in reputed international and national journals. Many of his publications are very important for us, for the people who are interested in labor and migration related issues. He is a life member of National Association of Geographers, India, Indian Association for the Study of Population, IASP, and Indian Association of Social Science and Health, IASSH. He is registered collaborator for India in the project International Migration Around the Globe Image, recognized by United Nations Development Program and World Bank, and funded by Queensland Centre for Population Research, the University of Queensland, Australia. Dr. Kunal has been actively working on various issues related to labor migration. He has. We are very much fortunate today to have him with us and to listen from him and to learn from him about types and characteristics of migration, which is one of the very important component of the program, and also very important issue to learn when we work on migration. So with this very brief introduction, and now I'll welcome Dr. Kunal Kesri to kindly deliver the lecture. Dr. Kunal, I'll be here with you. Whenever you need, you can just call me. I'll be here. And once you finish your lecture, we can have question answer session where participants can ask, can clarify their queries. So please.
Am I audible clearly?
Yes, yes.
Okay. First of all, thanks, Dr. Rakesh, for this very important, very wholehearted introduction. I'm not a big person. I'm a very researcher who has just begun his career, and I would like to say hello to everyone who is participating in this lecture. I can see there are more than 112 participants from all over the world, and I'm overwhelmed by the introduction given by Dr. Rakesh, because it is very important to know the participants. So what is the background of participant? But if you in 1 minute, Dr. Rakesh can share something about the participants. What are their backgrounds? So accordingly, I will start my lecture.
Yes, Dr. Kunal, we have now we have 112 participants, but usually we have more than 150, 160 around. The course has the participants from 110 countries, and actually, if I can say, we have participants from all across the all across the globe. If I can show you the map, now it's difficult for me to open, but if you see the map, you'll see the color map. You'll see the participants from all across the globe, and again, participants from all kind of background. We have PhD researchers, we have civil society partners, we have academicians, we have government officials also, and also we have very diverse kind of participants from different diverse backgrounds. Many people are not very new to migration studies, and also many participants are very much experienced with migration literature. So it's a kind of very diverse, very globally represented, and very academic as well as non-academic group.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Rakesh. So first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Rakesh, who is organizing, means a key person who contacted me, along with in this online 6-month certificate program, which is run by Global Compact for Migration, organized by CCRM, GRFDT, IIMAD, MFP, and MFA. So all the organizers who has entrusted me with this responsibility to deliver a lecture in this global audience, and today I will be talking on your very first title, that is Migration and Diaspora Theory and Methodology. So under that, there is a topic given to me, types and characteristics of migration. I will try to stick to this topic, but not fixed on this, but some additional things or some things related to this, I will try to discuss. So I'm trying to share my screen. I hope it is, please let me know if it is visible to all of you. So am I, my screen is shared?
Yes.
Great. So my full screen is visible to all of you?
Yes.
Great. Now I can start. So this is my topic, types and characteristics of migration. I am Kunal Kesri. I am assistant professor in GBP and Social Science Institute. My email ID is keshri.kunl@gmail.com, and my URL is http://gbpssi.in India. So now coming to topic first, what do we understand by migration? Migration means what? So every person, anytime in his life, migrate for some purpose, but majority of migration which happen around the world or internally is mostly due to, historically it has been found that it is due to livelihood, or for some economic motive, for employment, or sometimes people are forced to migrate. They are displaced internally. Sometimes they are forced to migrate to other countries by some political factors, some ethnical or religious struggles, or sometimes some political motivations. So there are different kinds of migration motives. It may be due voluntary, it may be push factors, maybe some forced migration kind of thing. So but mostly I will talk about conceptual things of migration, movement, how it is different from permanent migration, or temporary migration is different from permanent migration. So I hope my screen is shared with all of you. So if we say about the migration in terms of demography, because basically I am a demographer, so we see migration from the lens of component of like population change. So there are 3 components of population change. First is the fertility, second mortality, and third is other important but very complex component that is called migration. So basically, it is a process involving movement of people. We can see people move around the world, people move around any country or province or state with different motives. So migration may be considered as a symptom of basic social change. It is also a signature of development, because mostly migration is a kind of movement which attracts people. If we talk about positive migration or development related migration or employment related migration, so in most countries, it has been observed that industrialization and economic development have been accompanied by large-scale movement of people. Historically, it has been observed from rural areas to towns, from towns to other big towns or cities, and from one country to other. So this country-wise movement has got a lot of attention through the governments, through the researchers and demographers, economists, sociologists. But being a researcher from background of internal migration, I must say that internal migrants are more than global migrants or international migrants. But we will discuss about all the concepts in this brief time of 1.5 hours. So if we can see the example of countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, which are at present undergoing technological changes. These are experiencing some type of migration from rural to urban areas, and these streams of migration have given rise to metropolitan cities. Also, global migration is mostly from developing world to developed world. Some of the examples can be seen, like India is mostly a country who sends migrants to different parts of the world, and it is not a new phenomenon, but from historically it has been observed. China, Bangladesh, Pakistan, these countries are mostly centers of migrants. So now coming to the definition of migration, conceptual issues, who are the migrants? So the United Nations Multilingual Dictionary defines, it's a demographic multilingual dictionary, defines migration as a form of spatial mobility between one geographical unit and another, involving a permanent change of residence. Permanent change of residence implies the detachment from the organization of activities at one place and the movement of the total round of activities to another. The most important feature of migration is that it's a spatial by definition. There is a movement, spatial movement. Thus, migration involves the some aspects like change of residence. There must be a change of residence. There must be a second aspect is there must be a crossing of predefined administrative boundaries. Predefined administrative boundary may be a village boundary, may be a district or county boundaries. There may be a provincial or state boundaries. So there must be a crossing of boundary. So these definitions are sometimes advantageous and sometimes there are disadvantages. So advantage of such definition of boundary-wise migration or administrative boundary-wise migration is that much useful information are usually available on the characteristics of place of origin. We should know about, we have some idea about this, from which district the person is migrating, from which province the person is migrating, what is the place of origin, what is the boundary of that place. And this definition permits a better analysis of factors associated with migration. The disadvantage of such a definition is that it excludes other types of short-term or cyclical or circulatory or temporary movements, which are also equally important. There is also the risk of non-comparability over time due to change in administrative boundaries, as well as great difference in size and perhaps in such boundaries. Now, who is a migrant according to that definition? Migrant is a person who has changed his or her usual place of residence from one migration defining area to another, or at least once during the migration interval. So first characteristics is the migration defining area, administrative boundary, and second is the interval. Usually this interval may be 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years, or intercensal period. even beyond that. Now, how we can differentiate between movement and migration per se? Migration needs to be distinguished from casual movements such as commuting to and from the place of work, shopping, visiting, or traveling for business or for pleasure like tourism, etc., that do not involve change in permanent change in place of residence. Even temporary change in residence, suppose 3 months, 4 months, is not involved in that. Even when one changes permanent residence and his or her new home is only a short distance away, one does not need to alter her round of activities. His nearby environment is almost same. Then he or she is a mover, not a migrant, as per official definition of migration. So we can draw this kind of interpretation. This restriction on the concept of migration also eliminates other types of movements, such as movement of nomads, of population groups that have no fixed place of residence, or the seasonal movements of persons who have 2 or more places of residence during a year. You can stop me anytime if the screen is not being shared or my voice is not clear. I hope I am audible to everyone.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So, in addition to this, these highly localized moves such as change of neighborhood to another in the same town cannot be considered as a migration. The concept of migration also cover a change of milieu, that is environment, along with the change of dwelling place. And theorists also consider the change of milieu as an important aspect of migration. In such cases, it is not possible to measure easily the change in milieu or place of residence. A more measurable characteristics is therefore taken as a substitute, the distance. Thus, only those moves which involve some reasonable distance should qualify for the use of word migration. So distance, administrative boundary, and some interval, these 3 things are generally required to consider any person, to define any person as a migrant. Now, with this diagram, I try to show what is the administrative boundary. So these rectangular boxes, or there's a small rectangle or big rectangle, rectangular boxes are mostly administrative boundaries. Suppose this small one is the district boundary, this one is the state boundary, and this is the national boundary. So moves such as those which are made from points close to the boundary line in adjacent division as are counted as migratory movement. See, if one is crossing any administrative boundary, then his or her movement can be termed as a migration. But even if it is a longer move, but it cannot cross, it has not crossed any boundary, any administrative boundary, that this can be a move, not a migration. Even if it's smaller distance, but some district boundary has been crossed for a substantial period of time, that it can be considered as a migration. So we can say that those from one end of the division to another are not counted as migratory movement because they have not crossed the administrative boundary. So this concept is very important in migration studies. Now, coming to some typologies and terminologies of migration, like first we talk about what is the difference between permanent migration and temporary migration. So the migrant's intention of permanent change in residence distinguishes permanent labor migration from temporary labor migration. In permanent labor migration, the usual place of residence of the migrant is changed, and their chances of returning home are few. It may be true for internal migration, within country migration. It may be true for international migration. Its good examples are skilled migration from China and South Asia, different countries of South Asia to USA and other West European countries. These are mostly the settled migrants. They have got their work permit, and further after 3-4 years, according to the rule of that particular country, they generally get settled in those countries. So this kind of migration is a permanent migration, labor migration. But when we talk about the temporary migration, So by definition, temporary labor migration or circulation is a move made for a short period of time with the intention of returning to the usual place of residence. People has a intention of returning to there because they are not particularly settled in those places. If you talk about the temporary migration in China, it can be a good example. Even in India, we have a lot of seasonal migration. During COVID, these 80-90% of these seasonal or temporary circular migrants return to their place of origin because they are not particularly settled in those areas. These are informal migrants. So internally, we can define like that, but internationally, duration may differ from country to country, from person to person. So duration may vary from 6 months to 2 years, even 4 or 5 years. It's some good examples are from labor migration from South Asian countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh to Gulf countries. They have no intention to settle there. Even government does not allow them to settle over there because there are very strict rules of citizenship and all. So people, these labor migrants have a temporary status over there. Even they stay for 1 year, 2 years. After 2 years, their contract is over, they return. Then again, they stay in India for 6 months or 1 year. Then again they go, but their movement is very dynamic. It is not static, and they never settled over there due to some rules, because mostly these are the unskilled. I'm talking about unskilled migrants, and their condition is not very formal. So other thing which we should understand about the place of origin. If you talk about the migration studies, place of origin is the place of area from which a move is made in the like starting point. For migrants, the place of origin may be an area of residence at the beginning of migration interval, an area of residence from which last move was made for the current migration interval. Suppose I have to migrate to United States of America, so I have started moving from India, so the India is my place of origin. Place of destination, the area in which a move terminates is the place of destination. So, like in my example, USA may be the place of destination when I have reached there after starting my journey. So for migrants, the place of destination is the area of residence at the end of migration interval. Now, there are two important concepts: immigration and emigration. The terms immigration and emigration refers respectively to movement into or out of a particular territory, and are used in connection with international migration. Mostly these terms are used for international migration. Thus, migrants leaving India to settle down in USA or Germany or United Kingdom are immigrants to those countries who are receiving these immigrants, who are receiving these migrants. But they are termed as immigrants from India because they are moving from India. So they are immigrants from India. But when we talk about the internal displacement or migration, like within country migration, suppose from Mexico, within interprovincial migration is there, Bangladesh interprovincial migration is there, then it is called in and out migration. In migration refers to the movement into a particular area, while out migration refers to movement out of a particular area, both referring to movements within a country. That is internal migration, not international. So thus, internal migrants from, suppose, some states, southern states in Tamil Nadu to Maharashtra in India are considered to be in migrants for Maharashtra and out migrants for Tamil Nadu. So this kind of internal moves are considered as an in and out migration. Each move is either an immigration or an in migration with respect to the place of destination, and emigration or out migration with respect to place of origin and departure. So same place can be in migrant, place of origin and destination can be used for interchangeably according to person who is in migrant or who is out migrant. Now we can talk about migration interval. Migration occurs more or less continuously over time In order to study its incidence, data have to be compiled with reference to a specified period of time, like which kind of interval we are talking about. The interval may be definite, for example, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, the intercensal period, or it may be indefinite. For example, the lifetime of the population alive at a given date. Like I have been migrated to this place just after my birth, and I'm staying here for more than 50 years. I'm staying here, then I may be a lifetime migrant. When the data refer to a definite interval, they measure fixed term or period of migration and thus distinguish them from the data on lifetime migration or data based on the place of last residence, which lacks a definite time reference. So there is no definite time reference in this kind of migration. So migration interval is very important in migration studies. Now, we can see some examples of gross migration and net migration and try to understand why these terms are given. Gross means like the data that refers to all moves or all migrants within a specific definition of migration that is being applied are concerned with gross migration, means overall migration. We are not talking about in or out, but just total migration, gross migration. With respect to a given area, the sum of in migration and out migration is referred as a gross migration, and of in migrants and out migrants as gross migrants. So it's a sum total. With respect to a given area, the sum of in migration and out migration is referred as a gross migration. I can show one example of figures of gross migration. If it is visible to you, so it's sorry. I have in one of my reports prepared for UNFPA, it's a bilateral flow of migrants between states and union states, means provinces and union territories of India, shown by circular plots. Using that national sample survey data of 2007-8, and I have taken population of 0 to 9 year duration. So these are mostly the permanent migrants. So from this diagram, it is clear that one tick mark shows the 200,000 population, that is a gross migration. So the largest, most populous state of India, province is UP, Uttar Pradesh. So you can see that this much volume of migration is the gross migration. So this much people, this purple color, people are moving to other states. This is the direction of movement. This is the stream of volume of migration. Gujarat, Delhi, this is the Maharashtra. These are the developed states, Delhi, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Uttar Pradesh is the most densely populated state of India with highest number of people residing over there. So there is a huge out migration. So this section shows the out migration, and this colorful section shows the in migration, because different colors of states people are which is shown by different colors, people are coming from different. So there is a lesser in migration, and more than 2/3 people migration is consist of out migrants. But this total figure is the what? Gross migration. Similarly, Bihar it's a mostly out migrant state of India. So whatever migration volume, interstate migration volume is there. So more than 95% people are out migrating to other areas. Only few percent people are coming to Bihar. So this kind of gross migration figures can be drawn for easy interpretation or visualization of migration flow within country. Even within international migration can also be drawn using this kind of diagram. So again, we can say that with respect to a given area, the sum of in migration and out migration, you can see this is the in migration part and this is the out migration part. So both can be added and termed as the gross migration. Now coming to net migration. Net migration refers to the balance of movement in opposite directions. With reference to a given area, It is the difference between volume of in-migration and out-migration. When in-migration exceeds out-migration, the net going to area is called the net in-migration, which takes a positive sign. So, like, see, example of this state, Maharashtra. So, in Maharashtra, in-migration is very high. It's all color. So, color is represented by origin state. So in Maharashtra, we can see purple color from Uttar Pradesh province, okay, Bihar blue, green some Gujarat, some Haryana. So all states of India are contributing to in-migration in this Maharashtra, but out-migration is very less to some very few states. So it is a positive sign. Means in terms of migration, there is a positive migration. Net in migration is higher than net out migration. In the opposite, there has been a net out migration, which is a negative sign. What happens in that? This kind of states, like I have given earlier example, Uttar Pradesh, more people are moving or migrating from this state to other state and less people are coming. So this is a negative sign. So net migration is negative in this context, in this state. Other example, state-wise net in and out migration data of India during 2007-8. So I have denoted, this is the legend, net out migration is shown by red color and net in migration is shown by the blue color. That means the states I have shown in that gross migration figure. So Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, these are the states from where larger number of people migrating to different other states as compared to coming. So lesser number of people are coming, higher number of people are going. So these are shown by red. So there is a net out migration, there's a negative phenomenon. But southern states and western states of India like Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh are receiving states. They are receiving more migrants than sending migrants. So these are positive states in terms of migration. So there is a net positive in migration. I hope this diagram is clear to all of you. So I am exhilarated to see that number of participants are increasing. Now it's around 150, approaching 150. It's 147. Now coming to discuss something about the migration streams of migration. So the migration stream refers to the total number of moves made during a given migration interval that have a common area of origin and destination. So in practice, this refers to a body of migrants having a common area of origin and a common area of destination. Suppose such number of 100,000 number of people are migrating from rural area to urban area in last 10 years interval. So this stream is called the rural to urban migration stream. So stream of migration generally denoted by place of residence in this definition. So rural to urban migration stream is the most important migration stream if you talk about developing countries. Then we have also rural to rural migration stream. That means origin is rural area and destination is also other rural area. While in rural to urban, origin in rural area and destination is also urban area. And when we talk about urban to rural movement, it is very rare, but it happens. So origin is urban area and destination is rural area. Last one is the urban to urban. So people also move from urban areas to urban areas, maybe from small urban areas to big urban areas, from a town to city. So this kind of migration is called urban to urban migration stream. Then streams of migration by administrative boundaries. These are also classified on different, like we can consider district or county or province as an administrative boundary. So intra-district movement is very important when within district people migrate for some work or some other kind of motives. So it is called the intra-district movement within district or within county movement. Then we have inter-district movement, like crossing district boundary. But we are not crossing a state or province boundaries. So it is called the intra-state or intra-province movement or inter-district movement. Then we have interstate or inter-province migration. So this kind of data is available for all countries who have regular census operations. Census is generally, I will talk something about the census once we will move from this section. So we have interstate, interdistrict, and intra-district movement data. In mostly, we can collect this data from census data sets. Then we have international migration. When one crosses international boundary or country boundary, then it is termed as the international stream of migration. I would like to share one very important data source provided by International Organization of Migration. You can also copy this link, or I will share if it is easy to share with you within this. How can I share that if I want to share this thing?
We can circulate.
Okay, no problem. Chat box, can I copy it?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, I will try. Let me check. Yeah, you can copy this link. I will try to share with everyone. Yeah, you just paste this link on your browser. So I will share this thing again. Am I my screen is visible?
Yes, yes. Google Chrome is online.
Oh, Google Chrome is, sorry. I have to stop. Yeah, now it is visible.
Yes.
So I hope everyone might have copied and pasted on their browser. So World Migration Report has a visualization kind of thing. So if you drag down, scroll down, you can see this kind of number you can see. So the vast majority of people continue to live in countries in which they are born, and only in 30 are migrant. That means internationally we have 281 million migrants. Okay, so it is 3.60% of the world's population. You can see if this is the volume of population, so this number of people are migrants, international migrants. So overall estimated number of international migrants has increased over the past 5 decades. The total estimated 281 million people living in a country other than their country of birth in 2020 was 128 million more than in 1919, and over 3 times of the estimated number in 1970. So as the population, world's population is increasing, number of international migrants, global migrants are increasing year by year. So as you scroll down, you can see some interesting facts. Visualization is very important to see here. So you can see in this figure, The number of international migrants has increased in all UN regions, but has increased to a greater degree in Europe and Asia than in other regions. International migrants means immigrants. So if you can move your cursor, you can see the figures, how these are moving. So Oceania, Latin America and the Caribbean, Africa, Northern America, very means steep increase. Asia, uh, it has also some steep increase recently. Europe has a steep increase. So as further we scroll down, the proportion of international migrants varies significantly around the world. So this map shows the total number of international migrants within each country. So there are different options. If you click on the total, what we can find, see, we have countries, we have circles. So this interactive uses the latest international stock data, not the flow data, but stock data, how many people are residing in which country. So suppose you want to see that what is the total number of immigrants in USA. So you can see it's a 50.6 million. So percent of migrants is 15%, percent of non-migrants is 84.7%. If you want to see Belgium, UK, Spain, United Kingdom, I don't know how it is, Denmark is there, Poland is there, Ukraine, Italy, suppose Italy. So Italy has a 6.39 million population who are migrants, and percentage migration is 10.6%, while non-migrants 89%. If we talk about what is the status of China? China has very less number of migrants, 0.01%, while total number of migrants residing in China. China is a big country, that's why number is still big. It's around 1 million. India, if you talk about India, so 4.88 million people are migrant. India has also very less number of migrant population. Australia is a big country, and it perhaps, as per my knowledge, highest percentage of migrants are residing there because it's a country of migrants. Non-migrants are 69.9%. These are in majority, but still, as compared to other countries like USA has 15%, Russian Federation at 8%, South Africa 4.8%. So Australia's figure are very high as in terms of percentage. So now this figure is very interesting. If you can visualize, see this visualization. So in this visualization, the migration corridors are represented as lines sized according to the number of immigrants from a country on the left who are residing in another country on the right. So first, just if you scroll down, you will not find very interesting, but you have to click over some country. Like I have clicked on India. There is some problem. Let me scroll down more. So it is showing some problem, but when you click over here, you can find which like this. Now it is working. So is it visible to everyone? I have clicked over India. So it is showing what? India has largest number of immigrants to United Arab Emirates. That's 3471300. And second number of means India is sending this much, has sent till date this much of lifetime migrants to not lifetime means stock migrants, current status of they are residing in United Arab Emirates. And in United States, there's 2723764 number of people residing from India to who has migrated some time ago or long time ago to United States of America. Then if you can click on Mexico. Mexico has no other country to go but USA. So in Mexico, people move to United States of America and largest number is there only. If we talk about Mexico, then Russian Federation. So from Russian Federation, you can drag down like Russian Federation. So most of people are migrating, I think, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, then Germany, Uzbekistan, Belarus. China's people most favored destination is United States of America. It's 2184110. Then Republic of Korea, Japan, Canada, Australia. Now we are talking about senders. Now we can also see the status of receivers. If you click on the right side, it's the United States of America. It's the receiver. So you can see that Mexico. So it is receiving the largest number of migrants from Mexico. It is followed by India, then China, Philippines. Now coming to some other countries who are receivers, Russian Federation, Ukraine, Kazakhstan. These are neighboring countries. United Arab Emirates. It receives largest number of people from immigrants from India, 3471300, Bangladesh 1095231, Pakistan 996288. So these are the numbers you can play with. You can see this data you can use for your research, any kind of research you are doing. You can use. These are smaller countries. They have a very thin lines, and Estonia, Norway, Kuwait. These are also all figures are available here. Also, this gives something about the remittances. Which kind of remittances I will talk about. Then I will share this figure. So now I will again share my PowerPoint. Yes, so we were talking about the these figures. Then we have streams of migration. So we moved our discussion to this visualization. I hope my screen is being shared with all of you. So which kind of international migration stock migration data is available according to one World Migration Report prepared by International Organization for Migration, IOM, in 2020. It's a very interactive map, and it is also available in the form of a report. Now we can talk about lifetime migration. A person whose place of residence at census or survey date is different from his place of birth is a lifetime migrant. The number of such persons in a population is referred to as a lifetime migrant. However, the definition grossly underestimates both the migration and number of migrants. Why? Because it excludes all moves that occurred between departure from place of birth and arrival in the areas of residence as reported on a census date. And it does not include migrant person who moved out and subsequently returned to place of birth. Because by this definition, the place of birth and place of current residence is same. But in between, in the last 20 years, 30 years, he might have gone for work, for education to other place, other state or another country, but this thing is not captured. Therefore, some census organizations of different countries collect information on last move, like place of last residence kind of information. That is very helpful to check the current migration status and last migration status. Now we can talk something about the brain drain and brain gain. These are very important topic of discussion in developing countries. So brain drain is what? Brain drain is the emigration of trained and talented individuals from the country of origin to another country, resulting in a depletion of skilled human resources in the former. So it's a kind of negative aspect of migration, but it's only one aspect of migration. Not it doesn't give the full picture of migration scenario or consequences of migration, because in longer term it may be helpful for country of origin. Brain gain is the immigration of trained and talented individuals into the destination country, also called reverse brain drain, like immigration of trained individuals who can come to the country of destination and work hard for the growth of that country, for development of that country. Refugee, according to International Organization of Migration, refugee is a person owing to a well-founded fear of persecution for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinions, is outside the country of his nationality and is unable, or owing to such fear is unwilling to avail himself of the protection of that country. That means that person has a well-founded fear of persecution due to various reasons. Maybe one reason, his race is haunting him, or he is not favorable in that particular country, his religion is not favorable in that particular country, or his social group, and he needs protection. He is not safe in that particular country, so he can avail asylumship in some other country who is giving his protection of life. Remittances are very important and most positive thing about the migration, because migration itself every time is not very positive thing, and it has some negative aspects also, but remittances are very positive because it is helpful for the country of origin and their family members from where a person has gone outside or has gone for his livelihood. He can send some money to his country by formal or informal channels. So remittances are the money earned or acquired by migrants that are transferred back to their country of origin. Remittances play an important role in internal migration also, not only international migration. In India, large number of internal migration takes place in the form of temporary and permanent migration, and people send a lot of money to their poorest backward regions from where they belong, and it is used for their not only family improvement, but improvement and development of their village, their district, their state. Similarly, remittances sent by people who are staying in some other countries to country of origin improves their foreign exchange value, the stock of foreign exchange in US dollar terms. So many countries are small countries are dependent for foreign dollars, foreign currencies, foreign exchange values for and to the migrants, their migrant members. So in 2020, in current US dollars terms, the top 5 remittance recipient countries were India, China, Mexico, Philippines, and Egypt. So India and China are big countries. Mexico is also a medium country. Philippines is a small country, and Egypt a medium country. So these countries are top gainers of remittances sent by their migrant fellow men who are residing in different countries. So India has been the largest recipient of remittances since 2008 onwards. Last more than 10-12 years, India is receiving higher volume of remittance because number of migrants are also very high, and they go to different parts of the world. So this is a small data I want to share with you what happened during this Q2 of 2020, which was severely affected due to COVID. But the silver lining of this data is that in Q2, remittances plummeted, but they recovered in Q3 and Q4. It's a overall picture of most of the remittance receiving countries. You can see it has been prepared by our analytics and World Bank nomad staff. So these figures show the story and which kind of, so in Q2 you can see this plummet, Q3, Q4. So some improvement has happened over the period of time of these countries, but some countries were not very fortunate. Their figures were in minus, but still overall figures were not very bad. So this you can see that Brazil has better improvement. Philippines has, in Q2 it was bad, but in Q3 and Q4 it improved a bit. For India it also improved in Q4. So migration didn't stop during COVID, because just when COVID rules were relaxed, quarantine and other things were relaxed, lockdowns, then people started moving, whether it's internally or internationally. So again, remittance scenario was a bit normalized. Repatriation is very important term and is the personal right of a refugee, prisoner of war, or a civil detainee to return to his or her country of nationality under specific conditions, laid down in various international instruments as Tom, I'm really sorry. So, repatriation is the personal right of a refugee, prisoner of war, or a civil detainee, or return to his or her country of nationality under specific conditions laid down in various international instruments. So, the option of repatriation is bestowed upon the individual personally and not upon the detaining power. So, repatriation is the right of individual who is somehow somehow detained or stopped in any country. He has the right to be repatriated. Now, after this discussion of migration, types of migration, and most of the typologies and terminologies of migration, I will have a brief introduction of sources of migration data. So throughout the world, every country, majority of country of the world who has a peaceful environment conducts census. From last 100 years or 50 years, most of the countries are conducting decadal census. This is sometimes, most of the time, census is conducted after 10 years and sometimes after 5 years. And sample surveys also complement census data with migration information. So census and sample survey are some important sources of migration data and globally. So we should know what census is. A census of population is the total process of collecting, compiling, evaluating, analyzing, and publishing demographic, economic, and social data pertaining at a specific time to all persons in a country or a well-delimited part of a country. Census data have been and still are the main sources of information on migration in most countries of the world, and so for India. As per the definition of census, Indian census is decadal census, and usually direct questions of migration deal with place of birth, place of last residence, duration of residence in the place of enumeration, and place of residence on a specific date before the census are some basic questions of census which help us to collect migration data and analyze migration data. In the census of 2011, which was the latest census available for India, there were 7 questions on the regions of migration. First, work or employment related migration, business related migration, education, marriage, moved after birth, moved with household or family, and any other reasons. So these were the 7 questions asked in census 2011. In censuses, Immigrants are also enumerated, but the Indian census, being a de facto, does not provide information of the emigration of Indians, in which country they are going, when they are going. This information is not collected in census because it's a de facto census. De facto means people who are coming from other countries may be counted, are counted, but who are available in country, only those are counted. It is consequently not possible to study the net international migration from census data, though net interstate migration in India can be examined. To analyze census data on migration, we need to understand the concepts of place of birth, POB, and place of last residence. So place of birth as a lifetime migrants, and place of last residence, if someone has migrated last time from somewhere, it can be termed as the place of last residence kind of migration. So migrants are based on the place of birth. If the place of birth is different from place of enumeration, a person is defined as a migrant according to the place of birth. On the other hand, if both these places are same, then person is defined as non-migrant. It is easy to determine the migration or non-migrant status of a person if the place of birth is known, but if a person migrates from his or her place of birth and returns at the time of census enumeration, the place of birth and place of enumeration will be the same. As a result, the person will not be termed as a migrant. Thus, based on the question of place of birth, we are not able to capture the return migration. This kind of return migration can be captured using place of last residence data. That means how many types of person migrants all can be counted in the place of last residence data. So, migrant based on the place of last residence can be defined like if the place of last residence is different from place of enumeration, a person is defined as migrant according to the place of last residence. Otherwise, person will be non-migrant. We have also some periodic surveys. Demographic health survey also collects some information of migration, but that data is truncated, so it is not very useful. But periodic sample surveys in different countries are helpful. In China also, in India, we have national sample survey. In Pakistan, we have surveys. So periodic sample survey in many countries provide direct information on migration. The potential use of sample surveys for migration statistics are enormous. So emphasis in such surveys has been placed on offering the detailed information on the process, causes, and consequences of migration that is usually not available in national censuses. So just I will give a brief idea about which kind of data is collected in a national sample survey of India, because it collects a detailed information on migration. So it has a definition of usual place of residence of a person, like where the person had stayed continuously for a period of at least 6 months. Then he or she is considered as a usual resident of that particular area. The last place of usual residence was defined as a place that may be a village or town where the migrant had stayed continuously for a period of 6 months or more before moving to the place of enumeration. That means you must have a settled residentship for at least 6 months in the last place, and then you come to this place. If the place of enumeration was different from the last usual place of residence, then the person was termed as a migrant, maybe permanent or semi-permanent migration. A detailed information of regions of migration was also generally asked in this kind of survey in India. One important thing Indian National Sample Survey does, that it asks the information of temporary migrants also. Temporary labor migrants that is not collected in census. This is the beauty of census survey, National Sample Survey of India. So with the help of these 3 questions, they collect information on temporary migrants, because a lot of temporary migration happens in India, which is generally obscured, and very few data sources are available for that. National Sample Survey is one of them, which collects this kind of data. And this data helped us very much during this COVID lockdown period, that this kind of volume of migration happened, of informal migrants. These are mostly the unskilled informal migrants who move from rural to urban areas in seasons, and they are circular migrants. There is no permanency of these migrants. Whether any household, so first question is asked, whether any household member stayed away from the village or town for 30 days or more, but less than 6 months during the last 365 days for employment or in search of employment. So this is a purely employment related migration, work migration or labor migration. Then it is asked the number of spells, a period of staying away from the village or town for a period of 15 days or more was termed as a spell. Means minimum 15 days of residency is there, but it should be more than 1 month in whole year. That means 30 days in whole year, but should not exceed 6 months. If it exceeds 6 months, so this residency is termed as the permanent migration. So this 30 days to 6 month duration interval is very important to capture this temporary or informal migration. Destination during the longest spell, like same district, another district, another state, or another country they are moving. This is also asked. So this is all about today's discussion. So now floor is open for comments, your views, which kind of discussion you people want. Please let me know. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Kunal. We have 2 questions.
Yeah.
First, thank you for this informative lecture. Many concepts are very important, and now we'll start with question answer. Participants can raise their hand, then we can invite one by one. So now we have and from John Gloria. John, please unmute yourself and ask question. Please.
Thank you so much, our moderator. My name is Joan Gloria Cherop. I come from Kenya. I work in Kenya Union of Domestic Hotels, educational institutions, and allied workers, also hospitals. I'm glad to join this class today. I have been one of the participants in every Saturday sessions and Tuesday sessions. Today's lectures are very informative. It is deep into migration. I want to say that I have understood or learned more about migration today. My question to our lecturer today is that where do we categorize this group of refugees or the internally displaced or the displaced persons? Are they also migrants, or they are, there's another term you had called, are they also part of the migrants or immigrants to particular countries? And also want to ask this question: do remittance only means monies that are brought back to the country or the source country by the migrants, or it means other items that are sent by the migrants? Also, this term deportation, is it a term in migration? Thank you so much.
Dr. Kunal, if you want to take another question, or you can answer one by one if you want.
I can answer one by one, no problem. Thank you so much, John, for taking interest in my lecture and raising some questions. Yes, as per my understanding, refugees are emigrant in that country if they are given residence status. If they have been allowed asylum, so they can be considered. I'm not very much sure about this thing because it may vary from country to country, but as per my understanding till date, they can be considered if they have been given asylum. And other question related to remittance. Remittance may be in the form of cash or kind, but for the calculation of this thing, how much remittances have come, so mostly cash in the form of US dollars conversion is considered as a remittance. I hope I'm clear to you.
Thank you, Dr. Kunal. And Goji, please unmute yourself and sorry if I have pronounced this.
No, you've gotten it well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. That's a great presentation, Doctor. Is there any process of changing a migrant based on period, changing from a migrant to citizenship? Any universally accepted process? I'm asking this based on the fact that some people in Nagaland, in Mizoram and Nagaland, Assam, in India, they live more than 2 generations there, and they are denied citizenship. I think this has caused the BJP losing some of its allies, like the AGF and MPP. Also, in my country, Nigeria, this has also stemmed some problems in the northern part of Nigeria, where they say some people from Niger and Chad are voting in Nigerian elections. Thank you.
Thank you, Ngozi, Luis. So actually, I'm not. It is not clear to me. So what I could understood, you are asking whether migrants can be termed as a refugees. Whether I'm right?
Yeah, is there a process? Is there a stipulated process? Like if a migrant stays like 10 years or 20 years or a generation, 30 years, automatically can become a citizen? Is there a stipulated universal process? If not, can it be channeled to United Nations or to world bodies?
Yeah, now it is clear. Yes, if someone has come as a refugee, or got asylum, so after some stipulated time, but it depends on country to country, because which kind of rules and regulations are stipulated by that government, that is very important. And from time to time, what I have observed in India, some rules are being changed, and some refugees are getting asylum and they are staying for 10 years to 20 years, but after that they are getting citizenship, but it varies from country to country. There are rules. The United Nations also says about this thing, but every country has its sovereign right on this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ahmad Murtala, please ask. Ahmad.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, Doctor, for the insightful lecture. If Doctor would allow me, I would really like to respond to the questions raised by Ngozi. That will give a broader picture of what he is, I think, asking from Doctor. I'm participating from Nigeria.
Yes, please.
I'm very happy that his question carries some identity concerns, which is quite unavoidable when you're discussing issues that centers around the boundary of politics. In Nigeria, the Constitution of Nigeria, as amended in 1999, Section 25, 26, and 27 talks about citizenship. And Section 25 talks about citizenship by birth, which stipulates that either the father or the mother, if either your mother or father belongs to an indigenous group in Nigeria, occupies a space in Nigeria before the independence. So his question on Nigerians participating in election in northern Nigeria, it could just be a passive assumption. There are Nigerians whose mother is from Nigeria and the father is from Niger. So by virtue of Section 25 of Nigerian Constitution, he is qualified to participate in election as citizen of Nigeria. And then citizenship by naturalization, section 26, and by association, section 27, describe the process by which a foreigner can become a Nigerian. If, for instance, an expatriate in Nigeria, a migrant from US, stay in Nigeria consecutively for 15 years, he is qualified as one of the conditions to become citizen of Nigeria, and it is termed citizenship by naturalization. While citizenship by association is when we have a Nigerian spouse. Like if, as a Nigerian, if I marry a woman from Japan or India, if she comes to Nigeria and stay for at least a period of 1 year to 2 years, and if possible, we have children, then we can provide this as evidences, and the president of Nigeria would grant citizenship by association. That's how Ngozi understands that in his country, Nigeria, the process is available, and it is clearly defined by the Constitution of Nigeria as amended 1999. Thank you very much, Doctor, for giving me this privilege. Thank you, Ngozi, for your wonderful question.
Thank you, Ahmad. If anyone else has any question, please raise
Thank you,
hand.
Ahmad. Thank you so much.
Anyone else, please? Okay. I think things are settled now. So,
Okay.
If you can raise your hand if you have any question. Otherwise, we'll conclude. We are already.
Yeah. We have 5-6 minutes, so we can discuss.
One more question. Let him. And please unmute yourself and you can ask question.
Yeah, no, it's the presenter still did not address the issue of citizenship in Nagaland. Maybe any other person can address it better.
And
the issue of
many things are different. We cannot consider all the issues with the perspective of migration and typology and characteristics of migration. The question you are asking or you are emphasizing has very much to do with internal politics of the country, and let's not move beyond our academic discussion. So thank you. I know your concern, but many things.
So it's sensitive.
Yeah. So many things are not required in this platform. We can discuss some other time, some other things. Thank you, Ngozi. Liaquat, please ask.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Hi. Hello.
Sir, I am pursuing PhD program from University of Kashmir.
Okay.
Sir, my topic is regarding the migration and social change in Kyrgyzstan.
Okay.
Sir, how come this platform can enhance my knowledge and literature and other things to get a momentum in my research program? Are there any series of lectures that are going to be helpful for me? I have first time joined this Zoom meeting.
Okay. So Dr. Rakesh can answer your question in better. Yeah.
We have every Saturday and Tuesday events related to migration, so you can join us. And the registration link which we have received for today is for all the weeks, all the Saturdays. And Tuesday also you'll receive notification very soon. So keep joining and you will know about all the activities. We have also a YouTube channel where you can see all the lectures. So, and you can send us an email. We can discuss it further. Any other question?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we are also almost running out of time. We have very few minutes left. So, Dr. Kunal, if there is no question, we can conclude. If you have something to say, otherwise you can conclude.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank you people for including me in this discussion as a panelist or as a lecturer. But it is very helpful for me.
Sorry. I think unmuted.
Oh, sorry. Am I audible? Sorry.
Yes.
So first of all, I would like to say thanks to all of you and especially this group which is organizing this mega event. And in this pandemic situation, where face-to-face meetings and conference, seminar, workshop are very not easy to organize, but in this pandemic, you people are using the online platform, and people from different parts of world, they are sitting there in their university or their home, and they are interacting with each other with their ease. So it is very important initiative taken by GRFTD and IIMAD and all the organizations, Global Compact Migration. So I would like to be here time to time. Please share all your meeting agenda with me whenever I get time from my university schedule and my project field work. I will try to join these lectures. And I would like to congratulate all the organizers, and would like to thank all the participants for patiently listening to me and raise their questions. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. I will share my PowerPoint with Dr. Rakesh, and my email ID is already displayed there. So please share. I'm again sharing my email ID. So you people can contact me anytime. It's a keshri.kunal. Even I'm available on, just you type on Google Kunal Keshri Migration or Google Scholar, you will get my all publications and all my contact details. So I will try to share. It's Keshri in K, all things are in small, KESHRI.KUNL@gmail. So thanks a lot again. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Kunal, for accepting our invitation to join, to deliver this important session. I know these conceptual details, conceptual topics look sometimes boring, but are very important for all the people, even for PhD scholars, for researchers, for non-government actors, for UN agency practitioners, because we want to know all the things. We want to know how to use which term and how to identify, how to locate particular terms in particular context. So this lecture I think is very important, and I have learned a lot from this lecture. I hope participants have also learned a lot. So thank you for accepting our invitation. For a small clarification, I just want to inform the timing schedule of the lecture has changed. Earlier we are having 1 hour before, but now we are having 1 hour after, because Europe has changed the time, and basically we follow European time. So because of daylight saving in Europe, 1 hour they have shifted. So accordingly, we have also shifted 1 hour. So now every Saturday the session will start from 5:30 p.m. Indian time. You can further convert in your local time. That is 3 p.m. Central European time. Maybe I think 8 p.m. Manila time, and accordingly you can see. Every Tuesday our session will start from 7:30 p.m. So earlier we were having 6:30 p.m. but now we'll have from 7:30 p.m. So you just keep in mind about European time. 3 p.m. Central European time every Tuesday, and 1 p.m. Central European time every Saturday. So with this, thank you, and I once again thank you, Dr. Kunal, for accepting our invitation and delivering this lecture.
Thanks, Dr.